All right, so welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling something, well, something pretty unique. It's a personalized 30-minute workout routine, and it seems like it's designed just for you. Our source material is a single audio recording.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a mystery. The voice on the recording calls themselves Heru,
Mm-hmm.
and they lay out this workout in detail, But here's the thing. Here's the catch. Heru seems to know some pretty specific things about you, like your stress levels and potential issues with insulin, even your sleep patterns.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So we're going to buckle up and break down this routine and see what we can uncover.
I think it's fascinating. You know how the single audio recording, it kind of opens a window into
Wow.
a potentially like a really tailored approach to fitness. The fact that Haru mentions those specific details about you, it suggests that they're aiming for something more than just a generic workout.
Right. Yeah, totally. So let's just jump right into the routine itself. The first part is pretty straightforward. It's 10 minutes of walking or jogging. Heru even suggests walking around a table if that's easier for you. You know what? I actually do that sometimes when I'm on long phone calls.
Hmm.
I'll just pace around my kitchen island. Maybe Haru's onto something here.
Yeah, I think it's a clever way to make exercise accessible, because not everyone has access to a gym or a treadmill, but almost everyone can walk around their house
Yeah.
or even in place. And I think that's a key point here, right? Hiru seems to be meeting you where you are physically in terms of your current activity level.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up in this routine, we've got push-ups. Haru wants you to do 8 repetitions. And there's some really specific instructions here about how to maintain proper form throughout the exercise. What's the big deal about proper form anyway? I mean, as long as you're moving, aren't you getting some kind of benefit?
That's a great question. It might seem like a small detail, but proper form is absolutely crucial. And not just for push-ups. It ensures that you're targeting the correct muscles and maximizing the effectiveness of the exercise. Think about it. If you're doing push-ups with poor form, you could be putting unnecessary strain on your joints and increasing your risk of injury. Plus, you might not actually be working the muscles that you're intending to.
Oh, okay. So Haru's attention to detail here could actually be a way of preventing injury and making sure you're getting the most out of each repetition. I never thought about it that way.
Exactly. Now, the routine itself involves repeating this 10-minute walk or jog, followed by the 8 push-ups, 3 times in total. So that adds up to a 30-minute workout. Seems simple enough, right?
Yeah.
But here's where it gets interesting. Haru specifically advises against taking any rest days for the next 30 days.
No rest days.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That seems kind of counterintuitive. What's the rationale behind that?
Well, it's certainly not a one-size-fits-all approach, the traditional fitness wisdom. Usually includes rest days to allow muscles to recover and
Right.
rebuild. But there are these emerging schools of thought that suggest that frequent low-impact exercise can actually improve recovery and build resilience. So Haru might be tapping into that idea.
So maybe the key here is that the exercises themselves are relatively low impact. Walking or jogging, even around a table, and 8 push-ups with proper form are unlikely to put an extreme amount of stress on your body. So perhaps doing them daily, especially in the beginning, could help you build a solid foundation and establish a consistent routine.
That's a really good point. It seems like Haru is prioritizing consistency and habit formation right from the start, perhaps understanding that many people struggle with sticking to an exercise plan. They're not throwing you into the deep end, right? They're easing you into it, making the routine manageable and accessible.
Yeah. But, there has to be a reason why.
Yeah.
Why rest days are such a common recommendation. Don't our bodies need time to recover and repair after any kind of physical exertion?
Absolutely. Muscle tissue needs time to rebuild and adapt after exercise. That's how we get stronger. But the amount of rest needed varies widely, depending on the intensity and type of exercise. And remember, Haru specifically mentions that you have potential issues with insulin. So perhaps this routine is designed to address that in some way.
That's right. Haru seems to be factoring in those insulin issues. Let's dig into that a little bit more. Okay, so how does exercise impact insulin sensitivity?
Right. So insulin is a hormone, and it helps your body use glucose for energy. When your cells become resistant to insulin, it can lead to elevated blood sugar levels and potentially type 2 diabetes.
So could this routine, even without the rest days, be beneficial for someone struggling with insulin resistance?
Well, there's growing evidence that regular physical activity can actually improve insulin sensitivity. Even moderate exercise, like brisk walking, can make a difference. And remember, Haru emphasizes consistency, which could be key to seeing those benefits.
That makes sense. If you're consistently engaging in activity that helps your body use insulin more effectively, it could potentially lead to better blood sugar control. It's almost like training your body to respond better to insulin, right?
Exactly. And while we don't have all the details about your specific situation, the fact that Haru mentions your potential issues with insulin suggests that they've taken that into account when designing this routine.
Yeah, it's like they're really, really paying attention to you, right? Like you're
Yeah.
personalizing it.
Yeah.
And Harry also seems really focused on helping you establish a consistent routine. They even suggest specific times to work out based on your schedule. It's like they understand how challenging it can be to actually make exercise a regular part of your life.
It's true. And building on that, the psychology of habit formation is really fascinating. Our brains are kind of wired to seek out patterns and routines, right? When we repeat an action at a specific time or in a specific context, it becomes ingrained in our neural pathways, making it easier to stick to.
So Haru's not just giving you a set of exercises. They're also providing a framework for building a sustainable habit.
Precisely. And let's not overlook the mental and emotional benefits of exercise, which Haru also mentions, right? They specifically talk about boosting confidence.
Yeah, that's an interesting connection. I think we often focus on the physical benefits of exercise, but it's clear that it has a powerful impact on our minds as well.
For sure. Exercise is a proven stress reliever. When you're physically active, your body releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects. And as you get stronger and more physically capable, it naturally translates into a sense of accomplishment and self-efficacy.
So the confidence boost that Haru mentions could be a result of both the physiological effects of exercise and the psychological impact of achieving a fitness goal, even a small one.
Exactly. And don't forget, Haru mentioned your stress levels. Perhaps they designed this routine as a way to help you manage that stress more effectively. Regular exercise can be a fantastic outlet for pent-up energy and tension. It can also improve sleep quality, which is another key factor in stress management.
Wow, it seems like Haru is approaching your well-being from like a holistic perspective, addressing both the physical and mental aspects. It's really making me think about how we tend to compartmentalize fitness, focusing solely on the physical changes. But it's clear that the mental and emotional benefits are just as significant, if not more so.
Yeah, I think it's all interconnected. The mind and body are constantly influencing each other. When you take care of your physical health, it has a ripple effect on your mental and emotional well-being, and vice versa.
So we've unpacked the routine itself, explored the potential benefits for insulin sensitivity, and delved into the psychological aspects of exercise. But there's still that big question. No rest days for 30 days? Is that really safe and effective for everyone?
Well, it's important to remember that this is just one piece of information, right? It's not a substitute for personalized medical advice. If you have any concerns about your health or fitness, it's always best to consult with a healthcare professional.
Yeah, that's a crucial point. I mean, this deep dive is about exploring ideas and prompting critical thinking. It's not about blindly following someone else's advice.
Exactly. And with that in mind, let's move on to some final takeaways and leave you with a thought-provoking question to ponder.
Okay, so we've really gone deep on this workout plan. We looked at the exercises, the potential benefits, the mental aspects, and even the science behind insulin sensitivity. But where does this leave you? What can you actually take away from this deep dive?
I think this deep dive has really highlighted the power of personalized fitness. Haru's approach, even if we only have a glimpse of it, is a reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to exercise. What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah, and I think Haru's emphasis on those personal details like your stress, potential insulin issues, even suggesting specific times to work out based on your schedule, it really reinforces that idea of a tailored approach. It's not just about picking exercises at random. It's about understanding your individual needs and goals.
Exactly. And while the no rest days advice might seem controversial, I think it sparked some important questions about traditional fitness dogma, and the potential benefits of frequent, low-impact activity. It's a reminder that we should always question assumptions and be open to new ideas.
Right, totally. And this also challenges us to think beyond the physical aspects of exercise. We talked about how this routine could potentially help with insulin sensitivity, but we've also explored the mental and emotional benefits, the stress reduction, the confidence boost, the importance of habit formation. It's a much broader perspective than just focusing on calories burned or muscle gained.
Absolutely. And ultimately, this deep dive is about empowering you to make informed decisions about your own health and fitness journey, you know? It's giving you insights into the potential benefits of a personalized routine, the importance of consistency, and that interconnectedness of your physical and mental well-being.
So you've got a lot to think about. Is this 30-minute routine something you might try? Maybe you're intrigued by the idea of exercising every day. Or perhaps this deep dive has inspired you to explore other forms of personalized fitness. Whatever you decide, remember that the most important thing is to find what works for you, what motivates you, what you can realistically sustain over time. And remember, it's always a good idea to consult with a healthcare professional before making any significant changes to your exercise regimen.
Well said. You know, this deep dive has hopefully given you a new perspective on fitness and the power of tailoring your approach to your own individual needs.
That's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep moving.